y'all. What's good? What's up? Welcome back to the Healing and Hope podcast series with your girl, Nay. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a long time, and I know today's episode is kind of like, but I'm outside in my aunt's backyard, and ultimately, like, she got a, like, downhill backyard. It's not like a flat backyard. And I really wish my dog could be out here with me, but it's not gated. And he scares me so bad. Like, he'll be somewhere everywhere, all the people yard, scaring people. I don't got time. Um, I can't record and look after him at the same time. It's not gonna happen. But hey, y'all, these Uggs are new, right? They do not look like they new. As soon as I got them, I was walking my dog in them, and I'm like, I should never did that. But now, like, I just be walking Milo, and he just be disrespecting my Uggs. Like, he'll walk all on them. Like, he done walked in the mud, and then got a nerve to walk on my shoes. I hope I don't slide down this hill. Like, if I fall, I'm not, I'm not even gonna record that out. Like, I'm not gonna edit that out. Like, y'all just gonna have to laugh at me. But hopefully I don't fall. Hopefully I don't fall. But hi, I miss y'all. I know y'all can tell the difference in the energy from my last episode to today. Maybe also because I'm outside. Like, it feels good. Like, it's in the middle of December and it feels amazing. And also, that fire alarm thingy is still beeping. So I'm thankful that it feels good enough for me to be outside because I don't want to hear that. And I know y'all don't want to hear that. So, yes, I am glad to be back up here. I don't really know I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know. Let me get some water before I get started. But how are y'all? I feel like it's been forever. And it's only been a week. Like, only doing this once a week is kind of weird because it feels like forever. It feels like forever. I don't even want to put my water down. I'm really picky. I'm in the backyard with a bunch of leaves. I don't know. Like, when I was going to get everything to set up, I saw something move. I think it was a frog, but ain't it too cold for frogs? I don't know. Yes, yes, yes. I'm praying. Because I did even want to go further down, but it's just so much going on with all the trees and all the... I love being outside, but I'm not like I'm still like a type of person, right? It's just still like, I don't know. I love nature, I love trees, but I'm not too good with animals and insects and all that type of stuff. And the sun just came out. I really think I should have did the other side with the sun behind me like this. But yeah, I was about to say I feel like it's gonna like go in and out today. But anyway, so today's episode is called Unbreakable Spirit. Unbreakable Spirit. And if y'all hear background noises, once again, I'm outside. It's almost 3 o'clock, so kids are getting out of school. A lot of stuff might be going on, but, you know, and I'm doing my introduction. I'm just happy to be up here, and I'm happy to be back feeling how I love to feel, which is good, amazing. But even when we in our low moments, I mean, they are low moments, so you're not going to feel your best. You're not going to feel all... Like, and you cannot fake it. I mean, you cannot fake it. You can overcome it, but you cannot fake it. You know, I'm in a stage in my life where God is teaching me that even when I'm going through stuff, you know, still keep going. You know, be able to acknowledge what you're going through, acknowledge how you're feeling, but overcome that. Like, don't let your emotions dictate your day or dictate your week, you know, dictate your life. Like, you don't let your emotions do that. But you can acknowledge your emotions. You can, you know, sit in them. You know, you can recognize them and see, okay, well, what's going on? What's wrong with me? Like, you can do those things. But ultimately, you know, overcome them so you can keep going, you know. So I cannot fake anything. But even when I did my last episode, that was me overcoming. You know, even though I was coming out of my low moments, I was still not in the best space, you know, but I still was like, I'm gonna overcome. I'm not gonna continue to sit here, but I'm gonna overcome it. You know, I'm gonna choose to get out of it. I'm not gonna stay here any longer than I have to. I done felt all I need to feel. I done acknowledge all I need to acknowledge. So it's time to come out of it. But like I said, I was still in the phase of coming out of it, but I still wanted to do the episode. So it's like I couldn't be all fake jolly on that episode. You get what I'm saying? Like I couldn't fake anything, but I can be real and authentic about what I'm going through. You know, um, and I think that's important, especially when you are doing something like I'm doing. Like it's important to be authentic about your journey and be real about your journey and the things that you go through because it's a journey. And sorry, y'all know I'm outside. Like what's this? But ultimately, it's a journey. I cannot. I'm sorry, y'all. But ultimately, it is a journey, and that's what most people gotta like see, recognize, and understand. Like you're gonna have your days, you're gonna have your ways, but the most important thing, like I was saying in the last episode, is knowing how to come out of it. Like don't fake it. Like I cannot, like I said, I cannot get up here and fake it happy. Y'all gonna get my story. Y'all gonna get my experiences. Y'all gonna get what I've been going through because what I go through helps somebody else. Even if it's helping somebody else be able to see that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to go through things in your life, unexpected storms, difficulties, all types of situations. It's okay to go through those things and, you know, try to figure out, okay, how can I get through that? So, yes. Let me get started because my grandma has been calling me off the charts. So let me go ahead and get started before she calls me again. So yes, today's episode is called Unbreakable Spirit, and of course, always out of nowhere, things just flow with each other. So I've been thinking about this for the longest, this episode for the longest, and ultimately, I've been getting a lot of things to like go off of, like a lot of messages I've been receiving to tell you guys, but I have not been able to write nothing down. Like every time something comes to me, I'm doing something and I cannot write it down, and I've been forgetting everything, right? So ultimately, I think I'm only gonna just. And when I was like, I gotta do episode, I got this episode. Like the week is coming to an end. It's gonna be cold for the rest of the week. I gotta do this episode today. I cannot wait, right? Um, I'm like, God, what? How am I going? I don't know. I'm not prepared for this. But ultimately, the only thing is, I just got the two definitions, which is the definition for your spirit and the definition of unbreakable, which is, ultimately, I'm sorry if y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear the neighbors, but yeah, the neighbors are talking. But yes, so our spirit is basically, oh man, sorry. So our spirit is something that we cannot see. It's like that non-physical thing. It's our seat of emotions. It's our character. It's ultimately our soul. It's within us. Like you cannot see it. It's all these emotions that we have. It's our character. Things that we cannot see is really what our spirit is. It's something within us that cannot be seen, cannot be touched. Right? It's not physical to the eye. And then unbreakable. So not being broken. Not being easily broken, and that it's not liable to break, meaning like more than likely it's not going to break, right? So I was just thinking about myself ultimately, of course, because this is my journey that I share with people, and I was just thinking about how my spirit is so unbreakable. But before I even thought about myself, I ultimately received these words from my mentor, about how important it is to have an unbreakable spirit, because we can have a spirit that breaks. We can go through things that breaks our spirit, that breaks us down. But ultimately, I feel like the goal is to get to a place where your spirit becomes unbreakable, if that makes sense. Because it can break. You know, some things can happen where, your character or your emotions, like everything gets the best of you and you get to a low place. You get to a place where you don't want to be. But ultimately, through through those things, like we should always grow stronger. We should always get stronger. So I just was looking back at, when my mentor said that, I was like, ooh. Because it's true. When you trying to go when you're trying to climb, when you're trying to get to a better space in your life, a better phase in your life, a lot of things are bound to happen. A lot of things are bound to try to hinder you from getting to where you need to go. But you have to have this spirit that no matter what happens, I will keep going. I will not break. I will keep fighting. I will keep marching forward, right? Because ultimately, if your spirit can break easily, that's really not a good thing. If words can break you down easily, if how people if how people think about you or what people think about you can break you easily, you know, if even you can switch up on yourself easily and who you're trying to become, then that's not good, right? So you have to be firm in who you are. You have to be firm in how much you've grown. You have to be firm in your faith, knowing that no matter what I go through, no matter what I've seen, no matter what I hear from the outside, what I tell y'all, that background noise, no matter what's inside of me cannot be broken. It cannot be taken away from me because it's who I am. And ultimately, when we are on this path, we work so hard to change, to grow, to continue to march forward and get to where we need to be. It'll be it'll be like a disappointment even to ourselves if we allow things to break us. So we really have to hold on and know, like, I'm going to keep going regardless. Nothing can break my spirit. Nothing should be able to break your spirit. You should have an unbreakable spirit on this journey. And this is if you're on this journey. I'm always talking to the people who are on this journey, who is consciously walking this path of healing, of growth, of development, you know, trying to reach something better, trying to change from your old self to your new self. You have to have this spirit that can't nothing or nobody break, because you are going to go through things. But if you allow it to break you, sorry. But if you allow it to break you, then what's the point? So it's like in everything you do, everything that comes your way, you really have to learn from it, because each and every time you're gaining something from what you go through. If you choose to learn from it. And it just makes you stronger. It just makes you stronger. It just makes you wiser. You know? Choosing to learn from it, choosing to keep going. It makes you it makes you stronger. Like somebody was just saying today in my class, like, you know, it doesn't get easier, we just get stronger. And I've said that before probably many of times, like, because it's true. I even heard it in a song by Janae Aiko, like, it doesn't get easier. We just get stronger. Our spirit gets more stronger because our spirit has seen a lot. It knows a lot. So it's bound to get stronger if you allow it to. But if you allow it to break, it's just going to continue to get weaker. It's going to continue to be something that breaks within you. Every single time you go through something, every single time somebody says something to you that you don't like, every single time you hear a bunch of opinions about your life and you allow it to really seep into you and really break you, that's not good. You get weaker every time. But if you learn to block out everything, if you learn to keep marching forward, if you learn to keep fighting no matter what people say, no matter what you go through, your spirit, your character, who you are, even your emotions, they get stronger. Strong enough to handle, strong enough to get through each and every time. Do not lay in it. Do not stay in it. Do not do that. Have an unbreakable spirit. Nurture your spirit. Even the negative things you go through is a way to nurture your spirit. If you learn from it, if you take what happens and you're able to analyze it, you know, able to study, able to see, okay, how can I do better next time? What can I, you know, even with my last situation, just looking at, so I guess I could tell y'all. So I moved, and ultimately, I moved off of faith. So ultimately, moving off of faith, when you move off of faith, you don't always move prepared. So when you're moving off faith, you don't always move prepared. And so, as I've always told y'all, I have mentors who help me in my life, who help guide me, especially when I make decisions. Making sure I'm not making decisions on my own or just making decisions, you know. But ultimately, they guide me. We talk about my decisions that I want to make, not just telling me what to do, but ultimately helping me to see higher than myself. Um, Helping me to always remember the big picture when I make a decision, because that's important when making a decision, because I have not always been the best decision maker. So sometimes when we make decisions, we're not looking at every angle when we make a decision. Sometimes we're only looking like right in front of us, right? We're looking, or we're only thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about the bigger picture. We're not thinking about the higher perspective. So, having a mentor to really just go to and talk to about the things that you want to like do at each step of your life is very important, because, or each corner of your path, each road of your, whatever, is good, and it's very important, because first, you're not alone. You have somebody who, especially when they have already walked the path, is even more better, because they can really help guide you so you don't make the same mistakes, right? So also, I'm becoming a mentor, so feel free to always hit me up and talk to me about anything. But yes, so yes, I have mentors, right, who help me when I make a decision. So, a huge decision already is choosing to move your life, right? And so that was decided upon, like, moving. So I moved, basically off faith, but also, like I said, not really the most prepared. Prepared, but not really prepared, in a way where I don't just have everything figured out, but I have this amount of money and I know where I'm living. I know certain things about the decision that has me like secure, secure enough to move, right? Um, so for example, I might not have $1 million in the bank and I might not have a house waiting on me, but I have enough money saved to go, and I have somewhere to lay my head, right? So moving forward, the somewhere to lay my head, right? The place where I chose to lay my head, or where I've, chosen to lay my head, actually does not take in dogs, pit bulls, right? And I have a pit bull, right? And ultimately, so I've been with my aunt because I can have my dog. And if you know, I love my dog, right? If you know, you know. My dog is my baby. He's been with me. Oh, it makes me emotional because my dog has really been with me. When I started to take my faith life very, very seriously, I'm about to be emotional, but I'm not going to cry. I let go of a lot of things. So my dog really became my best friend, right? My best friend. And so he's been with me through it all, through the ups and downs, when I had to start over again, and then start over again, and then again, starting over again, right? So many times I had to start my dog. Like, he knows what my salty tears taste like, everything. Like, that's my baby, right? But I cannot have him while, right now. I have to take him back to my dad. And when I realized that, like 2 weeks ago, that really broke my heart. And, I was so stubborn. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not, something else got to give, because I'm not giving up. I'm not doing it. That's my daughter. That's my baby. No, that's not happening. I'm not, something else got to figure itself out, because I'm not sacrificing it. I'm not giving up my dog. Right. So I wasn't willing to make the sacrifice, and I was like tore, like I was tore up. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I was tore up, because I'll tell you, my dog is my baby. It's my baby. So I was tore up, because it was unexpected. I didn't know until I actually got here that I couldn't have my dog, right? Um, so I can't stay at my aunt's forever. So I do have to I have to take my dog back to my dad. Like that, I've come to terms with it. But 2 weeks ago, I was down bad, because I didn't want to do it, and I knew and I was being so stubborn, and then I really had to, and because I was being so stubborn, it was putting me in a dark space. So that's how I got in a low space, because I was being so stubborn, and I had to realize so much, man. Like, I had to realize so much, because God put you through situations where He really trying to show you something, and when you really walking with God, when you really truly walking with God, you gotta make sacrifices, even unexpected sacrifices. And one of the things that my higher up mentors told me was like, he was like, we can't sit there and tell God like, oh, I did this, I already did this, I already made this sacrifice, because I made a lot of sacrifices. So that's how I was feeling, like, man, God, I done sacrificed so much, like I sacrificed about something else. That's how I was feeling. But my mentor reminded me, like, I can't do that, because God has sacrificed way much more for me, and also really looking at what is God trying to teach me through having to take my dog back to my dad. Like, what? And ultimately, he was telling me that God is really wanting me to rely solely on Him, because a lot of throughout my journey, since I've had my dog for like a year now, I have relied on my dog a lot, also emotionally, you know. And God is somebody who wants you to rely on Him for everything, um, just to grow you stronger. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like God wants to just snatch my dog away and never give him back. If that's the case, I would have to donate him. But luckily, all I have to do is like give him to my dad for a couple of months, right, until I move um, to a place that allows me to have dogs. Which means like I gotta work, because like I said, I don't got $1 million in the bank. I got enough to move, so I don't have enough money to just get an apartment like right now today, right? So I have to work, right, in order to save up and be able to get a place that allows me to have a dog, right? So that's going to take time, which like I said, I've come to terms with it now. But like I said, I don't have to give my dog away or donate him. I can just give him to my dad, and then hopefully I can be able to get him back. So like I was just telling y'all with sacrifices in my other video, is sometimes we sacrifice things not knowing that maybe one day we will be able to do that thing again, or have that thing back again. You just never know, right? You may sacrifice living somewhere, and then God one day might give you the biggest house, and you just don't know when it comes to making sacrifices. So you cannot measure or calculate or even think about the sacrifice you have to make. You just have to make the sacrifice. You just have to do it. And again, God was also showing me like, I have to grow you. It's time for you to really grow. It's time for you to really get it together. It's time for you to really be in a place where I need you to be, so that you can continue to become who I need you to become, right? And sometimes when God is trying to build you up to something, he just, all he needs is you. He needs all your full attention, your full focus. And even on my path with God, he still gets my full focus. Cause like I barely even I didn't even barely train my dogs. Like, my dog is trained and he listens, but it's not like 100% because of my walk. But still, he still gets a lot of my time too. So like a true yes. Even in the Bible, it just says like, if you want to be my disciple, you know you cannot love anything else more than you love me, right? When you following God, when you're on the path with God, if he says give it up, take up. If he say follow me, and you gotta leave everything up behind, then that's what it is. That's what you have to do, and that's not easy. That's not easy. I'm telling you. Like I said, I was in a very dark space 2 weeks ago. You know, um, and I'm thankful to be out of it. I'm thankful for the people. Like I said, I'm thankful for the wisdom and the people in my life who helped me to see the bigger picture of it all. Because I was not trying to let my dog go. Like, I was not trying to let him go. I was like, what? Come again? I was not trying to let him go. But ultimately, even that's something that's going to build up my spirit. You know, even that's something that's going to build up my spirit. It's going to grow me. It's going to strengthen me. Because the point of that story is that it was so unexpected that it literally almost broke me. Like, it literally almost had me like, yeah, no. Yeah, all right. It's not happening. Like it literally, being so stubborn to God. But it's like I cannot be that way. God has done so much for me, including giving me my love. So God has done so much for me that I cannot be that person that's like, no, God, I'm not doing it. I cannot do that because God has given me so much. So, but again, I was like, yeah, can we talk about this? Like, can we reason? Can we like? But ultimately, um, yes, it almost did break me. It almost did break me. It. And like I said, I was telling you, like a test from God for sure. Because one of the things my mentors had, one of the things my mentor had brought up to me was the story about Abraham having to sacrifice Isaac, right? And yes, that had me boohoo crying. That had me boohoo crying, right? But I think when it comes to me about to break, I think it really came to my emotions and how I was seeing it, right? Because like I was telling y'all, like God can test us with different things, but also the enemy can also, when we're going through that test, like God could be testing us when we're going through, even like okay, like Job, like God was going through a test with the enemy through his friends. The enemy was still working by trying to convince him that he was like the worst person in the world and that he was a sinner because they didn't know his friends didn't exactly know why he had lost everything, so they assumed that, oh, he has betrayed God or he has sinned against God. The whole time Job never sinned against God. Job was confused. He didn't even know what was going on. Job knew, like, I know I ain't did nothing wrong, so can you please come talk to me? Right? So even seeing how the enemy, when God is testing you, testing your faith, the enemy will still try to come during that time to really try to see, if he can get you to really go against God, turn away from God. And that was kind of what was happening, like being tested. And I didn't even know I was being tested until my mentor was telling me about Abraham. And I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely a test. But with the way the enemy working is that he wants me to be like stubborn, like no, I'm not doing it. I'm not giving up my dog. I'm just not doing it. Like, I don't care what the situation is, what I gotta do. My dog is staying with me. Like, that was my attitude. That was how I was towards God. Who has done so much more for me, who has given me so much. That was literally my attitude. Like, So, like, going through that, like, low, dark, like, crying, like, stubborn. I don't want to do this. I cannot. Like, this is too much. Like, I get here and I'm excited. And then you telling me I gotta take my baby. I gotta give up my baby. Like what? Like he cannot come and live with me for a couple of months. Like I felt like a bad mom. Like seriously, it really was breaking my spirit, and the enemy was not making it easier. Like I was being tested about like what I was gonna do. Like was I gonna just simply obey, be obedient, and do what I gotta do and trust God. Trust that God knows what He's doing in my life. Trust that if I have to send my dog back to my dad for a little while, that it's for a reason. Like that's the part that I wasn't really seeing. That's the part that it was not clear to me. So the fact that was not clear to me, the enemy was able to really use that and really just comfort me in all types of ways, in my emotions, in my attitude, like within me, like it was a lot. Even after I have overcame so much with my emotions, still not thinking logically, like I said, still not seeing clear enough to see that maybe God is really um just wanting to use this opportunity as a time for me to continue to grow, now that I don't have my dog, or I won't have my dog because he's still with me right now. But I was breaking. I was really breaking, but by the grace of God, and I'm thankful that I have the spirit that I have, a spirit that cannot be broken. Because, like I said, I was being tested, but the enemy was right there in that test, like trying to make it worse for me, trying to get me to really, stay stubborn, stay saying no, turn away from God, who has done so much for me. But despite all of that, I did not break. I did not fall. I did not stay in it, but I was able to start to see clearly. I was able to start thinking logically. I was able to recognize that I was moving out of my emotions solely, out of emotion. And even though it was something that I've overcame, like being able to, um, excuse me, being able to think logically and emotionally, right? That situation was very unexpected, and like I said, the enemy was definitely working. He definitely working during that time to make sure that I didn't realize what was going on, that I didn't see how I was moving, right? But thankfully, all the glory to God, I was able to see, and I was able to come out of that, and I'm like, okay, let me do what I have to do, um, and figure out what's next for my dog. And thankfully, I have a great dad who loves me, because my dad is going to watch my dog for a while. And I've come to terms with it. Is it easy? Will it be easy? It will not. It's not going to be easy. But I know that he will be well taken care of, and I know that he'll be okay. So that I do know that we're both going to go through it, but I know that God is going to protect him and make sure he's okay. And I know that he'll do the same for me. So yes, that was the situation, and I told y'all it could be so small that some people like a dog, like that almost took you under. Yes, because it was very unexpected, but it's like it be the things that we love the most that we have to let go of, and I think I want people to realize that too, because you're gonna have to let go of it. You're gonna have to. The things that you love the most is what you're gonna have to let go of on this journey. You're gonna have to let go of it. So I tell y'all this so it's easier for you to let go. You don't have to go through what I went through. You don't have to fight against God as much as I tried to fight. Because I'm telling you now, before it happens, after you walk this journey, especially if you're truly walking this journey, you're gonna have to let go of the things you love, and it looks different for everybody. Like I've let go of a lot of things, and then I'm here and I'm excited and I'm happy to keep moving forward. And then the next thing that I love the most is my dog, and I have to let go of my dog. So it's like the things that we really love the most, we have to let go of, ultimately, because God wants us to see Him and love Him more than anything else. And when He's really trying to build you up, when He's really trying to recreate you, um, change you, so that He can use you, He needs your full, undivided attention. He needs that from you. He does. He really does. He needs all your focus. He needs all your focus. So, yes, I told that story because it really did grow me. And like I said, things happen unexpectedly. Like that was unexpected for me, and it really almost broke me. It really almost had me turning, my back against God in a way where I was being very stubborn. Like I'm not doing it. We gotta figure something out, big dog. I'm not doing it. But ultimately, I was able to come out of it because of the spirit inside of me, because of the character that's built inside of me, knowing that God has done so much for me. I could never just sit with the fact that I'm saying no. Like even when I was going through it, when I was talking to my mentors, it's like, okay, now I know for sure that I have to make up my heart and figure out what I'm going to do, because even I can't continue to say no. Like, no, I'm not doing it, because my conscience wouldn't allow me to. My spirit wouldn't allow me to. That's how much God has grown me, because I knew the right thing to do was to figure out what to do with my dog so I could keep growing, stronger. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. But so my conscience was so loud, and it's like, do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing, do what you know you gotta do. Come out of this, come out of this. Come out. Don't stay there. These are your emotions. You're not seeing the bigger picture. Come out. Think bigger. Think above you. Think beyond you. Do not break. Do not allow us to break you, but think beyond you. You know what you have to do, so do it. Like, that's my conscience. So even when, like, how I feel is like, no, I don't want to do it. My conscience is like, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Know what you got to do, so do it. So, yes. Yes. And it just, it reminded me and it showed me, like, things are going to happen, you know. Things are going to come out of nowhere, but you cannot allow it to break your spirit. You cannot allow it to break you down. Not for too long anyway. Not for too long. So we have to have that unbreakable spirit on this journey. We have to. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. I'm about to wrap this up. And that's about all I have for you guys. Because I have things to do. I have things to do. But yes, that's just my message, y'all. Grow that, nurture that spirit, grow that spirit, so that it becomes one that's unbreakable. It's especially on this journey, it's needed. You need to have a spirit that cannot be broken, that's not easily broken with the things that are unexpected or come out of nowhere, or even the things that you expect that you already can kind of sense or see. Um, you know, I think that's it. I think that's my message. Like, it's not. I'm not gonna always try to keep y'all on. I think I just say what's on my heart, and that's pretty much it. And that was on my heart, like, just having a spirit that cannot be broken. You know, no matter what the enemy tries to throw you away. Because even when God is testing you, the enemy that'll be his opportunity to be like, let me make it worse. Let me make the test even more worse. Because one thing we're taught in my mentorship is that no matter if it's a test from God or, you know, Satan is tempting you, you still need to pass. You still need to. You still need to pass. You know, you still need to come out of it victorious. So, unbreakable spirit. Have that unbreakable spirit. That character within you, your soul. Just know I cannot be broken. No matter what I go through, no matter what I see, no matter what I deal with, no matter what people say, I cannot be broken. I cannot be deterred from the path that I'm walking. I cannot stay down too long. I cannot. Do not be easily broken. Allow everything that you go through to continue to strengthen you as you walk this path. Because that's how you get, stronger with, especially with your tests, your trials, your tribulations, everything, your situations, your difficulties. Allow them to grow you stronger. Allow them to be what strengthens your spirit, what strengthens who you are, your character, your mindset. Allow it to be what strengthens you. so that whatever may come your way, it does not break you. It does not deter you. It does not knock you down. It does not allow you to turn away from the path, to turn back from the path. Have that unbreakable spirit. Like, have that determination that no matter what, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. No matter what. Keep going. No matter what. That's an unbreakable spirit. Somebody who has something within them that no matter what you try to do, no matter what you say, no matter how you treat them, you cannot break them. You cannot. You cannot break them. Because it's what's inside of them that keeps them going. It's what's inside of them that keeps them strong, that keeps them brave, that keeps them humble. It's something inside of you. But it's not just there. You have to nurture it. You have to grow it. You have to go through some things to even, be able to get through some things. A lot of things I wouldn't be able to get through if I hadn't gone through certain things already. And it's grown my spirit so much that I know better, that I know, like, I gotta keep going. Like, no matter what, this trying to break me, I gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Janae, I eat up. Okay. Gotta keep going. You have to keep going. And that's what an unbreakable spirit is. Like, they keep going. They're fighters. The righteous fall 7 times, but they get back up. Proverbs, okay? Yeah. Keep going. No matter what. That's an unbreakable spirit. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I have to go. I do. I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah. And you feel like your spirit break easily, it's time to get right. It's time to, because I think a lot of people don't learn from the things they go through, so it's easy for them to break. If they make sense, like, I feel like a lot of people don't learn from the things that life shows them. Like, life is one of your biggest teachers. Life is, I say one of your biggest teachers because God is the ultimate teacher. He gives a lot of wisdom. God teaches you so much that you just didn't even know that you needed to know. God teaches you so much, but life is one of your teachers. Experience is one of your teachers. The things you go through is one of your teachers. So you need to. Some people don't see that though. Some people don't see that life is one of your biggest teachers, and I think that's what a lot of people fail. Allow yourself to learn from the things you go through within your life. Even if you're just starting at 20, 19, 20, 27, 30, it don't matter. If you have not been learning from the things you have experienced in life, start. Because now is the time to start learning from those things so that you can become somebody who doesn't always, I don't want to say fail, because we fall, we fail. I would say that, like I said, so you don't become somebody who's always crumbling or breaking to the things that you go through or the things that you see, right? So yes, learn to learn from things you go through, so that you can grow your spirit, you can grow your character, you can grow who you are as a person. Because when you grow who you are as a person, you're able to see differently. You're just able to see differently. You're able to handle things differently. Like, even with what I was going through last week, yeah, I was like I said, that was very unexpected. Like, some things just hit you. I mean, some things just hit you out of nowhere. And that was one of the things for me. It hit me out of nowhere. And so I had to really fight. That was a battle for me that I had to really fight. You know, some fights and battles are harder than others, and that was a battle that I really had to get in the. I had to fight for that. I really had to fight. Um, and that's okay. I think that's okay, because it grew me. It made me realize that I'm gonna always have to make a sacrifice. The more I grow, it's gonna always be something I'm gonna have to sacrifice, and I have to learn to be okay with sacrifices without making it a big deal, whether it's unexpected or expected. Just being somebody that knows and trusts God enough to know that there's a reason. Whether I receive it back or not, there's still a reason. God is still trying to teach me something through me having to sacrifice this, or through me having to put this down. You know, to let it go. There's a reason why this is coming at this time of my life to have to sacrifice. So that's what I learned, you know, that I have to trust God every step of the way. If he's telling me that it's time for something to go, or if it's time for me to let go of something, even if it's just for a little while, trusting God's plan for my life, trusting that he knows what he's doing, trusting that he is the one that is in control, and that I've given him the control. So I shouldn't fight against that. I shouldn't fight back. I shouldn't be stubborn, because I trust him and I know that there's a reason. So that's what I had to learn, because I still struggle with trust. So that's why it was hard for me to even realize or recognize that God got to be doing something bigger that I don't see yet. You know, he's trying to teach me something that I'm not able to realize yet. But I will, you know, once I make this sacrifice. But I was not willing. So it's like I'm only thinking about myself and how I feel and how I don't want to give up this dog that I've had for over a year now, who's really become my best friend. So it's like, next time I know, like, if I have to give up something that's near and dear to me, there's a reason. And I shouldn't fight against it, but I should. And I feel like it'll make it so much easier. I won't have to get into the ring and fight with my emotions, fight with the devil, because I know what God is doing. I know there's a reason why I have to let this go. And I need to trust it. So that's all about learning from the things that you go through, because it makes it easier for the next time, and it builds your character. It does build your spirit. You know, it does build you up. The things that you learn and you grow from and you learn from, it does build you up, and it gives you an unbreakable spirit. Like, no matter what, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's hard. I gotta go. Shoot, I don't play no buzz. Yeah, it's hard, but I'm not gonna let it affect me. You know, I'm not gonna let it be the reason why I don't keep trucking, keep going. I'm not gonna let that be the reason why. So, yeah, it's so important, you know, to have an unbreakable spirit. Nobody can stop you. Nothing or nobody can stop you. And I think that's the beautiful part about it too. Like, you cannot be stopped. You know, people can try. The enemy can try. Situations can try. Whatever. But it's beautiful not being somebody who's not easily broken. Because I know what it feels. I know what it looks like to be a person who's been easily broken, who's easily fell down and stayed down, who's easily, you know, gone through things and just falls into a deep sorrow. Don't know what to do. Don't know the next step. Cannot see clearly. Just broken, depressed, anxious, sad, in the dark. You know, I know what that looks like when your spirit can be broken. So to have become somebody who has an unbreakable spirit, knowing that no matter what, this cannot break me. I might stumble, you know, but I ain't gonna fall, you know. And even if I do fall, I can get back up, because it didn't break me. You know, this is not Humpty Dumpty. You know, it cannot break me. I wonder if y'all can see me when it's feeling like that. But yeah, I do know what it feels like to be somebody who's had a broken spirit. So to be that person, and then to now be somebody who keeps going because you cannot break my spirit, baby. You cannot stop me. I'm gonna keep going. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful comparison because you know that you fought your way to this space. You know you grew your way to this space. You know you've been strengthened along the way to get to this space. Because it takes the strength. It takes strength. It takes strength. You know you changed to get to this space. You know you done been through a lot to get through this space. To get to this space. But as long as you get there, you get to a point where nothing can no longer break your spirit. Break what's inside of you, who's inside of you, what's inside of you. Knowing that it cannot be broken is a beautiful thing. So, I do have to go. I keep checking my messages. I love you guys. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay beautiful. From my heart to yours. Bye.